Hi, I'm Steve Pollitt. I'm going to talk with you more about PEMF and angiogenesis. Maybe a word that you hadn't heard. Maybe you haven't heard about any of these words. So let's start with PEMF. PEMF stands for pulse electric magnetic field. So in a nutshell, the earth vibrates at a resonance that can be measured. The same thing happens with our body. So for example, most of us think that the heart moves the blood through our entire system. And that's impossible. 74% of our circulation system is our microvessels. That's 74,000 miles of capillaries end to end. So it's impossible for a heart that's about this size to move all of that blood through our entire system, especially the capillary system or the microvessel system. So what does that? Well, there's a chemical reaction that was identified in, I think initially in 1972, but by 1998, when 3 scientists won the Nobel Prize for Medicine, identified what it was that was actually working. That was nitric oxide, a nitric oxide reaction. So the nitric oxide reaction at the capillary level results in a pulse, and it moves the walls of the capillaries so that it facilitates the blood flow through the capillary system. It's called vasomotion. This can be measured. We know, for example, that for a young person, a young healthy person, that the rate of blood flow through the capillary system is about 3 to 5 times a minute. We also know that by the time someone is older, and many people who are, say, 55 and older, actually have a problem, some sort of a health or wellness, health issue, health condition. Many people have diabetes. So someone who has diabetes and is, say, 60, that pulse rate through the capillary system can be as slow as 1 time every 10 minutes and maybe even slower. So that rate of blood flow through the capillary system becomes extremely important, because as it slows down, then the health of our cells become impaired. As the health of our cells become impaired, because the blood slows down, it's not getting the oxygen, nutrition, and water that they need, and it's not eliminating waste properly. So that's the start of sickness and disease. It's really important to understand our circulatory system. When you understand the circulatory system and the rate of blood flow and what every cell needs in terms of being healthy, oxygen, nutrition, and water, it needs to be fed that. Each cell needs to also eliminate waste. When you really focus on that particular point, then you understand the value of a PEMF device. So pulse electric magnetic field is like a battery, it's like a jump start on your battery in your car. Okay, it revitalizes the rate of blood flow through our microvessel system. So it starts restoring the rate of blood flow from someone who has a slowdown in that process to where it once was when they were younger and healthier. This is particularly true for the device that I represent, because we can measure it. We've measured it at the Institute of Microcirculation. We could see it real time through a specialized piece of equipment. So it's science-based information that I'm giving you. And it's really important, because what I represent is a gentle frequency. It's an FDA Class 1 device, which means it's safe for everyone, young and not so young. And the only person that cannot use the device that I represent is someone who's had an organ transplant and is on immunosuppressant drugs. Why is that? Because the medication is designed to lower the immune system so the body doesn't reject the organs. And the device I represent increases the immune system, so it's opposite effect, so that person can't use it. But that's the only one. The frequency is so gentle. Moms get on it with their children, with their babies. Pets get on it with no harm. It's really, really amazing. So it's really important to understand that. And so as this device goes into action and it restores the rate of blood flow to that of a younger person, it doesn't do it instantly so using it 8 minutes twice a day, there's a residual value of a 32% increase in the absorption of oxygen, say for example, and that becomes residual. What that means is that over time, the rate of blood flow is restored to that of a younger person. And so then the regeneration of healthy blood cells is facilitated. The elimination of waste is facilitated by a similar measurable result. And we have that data. We have that proof. So when companies that say they are competitors of ours make claims, they can't support them. And not only that, we know from a measurement standpoint that the stimulations per second coming from our device is roughly 1,500 stimulations per second versus other devices which are 300 per second and not nearly as effective. We have the scientific data to show it. I can show you those reports. All you have to do is contact me, stevepolit@gmail.com, and I will give them to you, or text me 727-224-4743. This is easy to support. Now that you have a brief introduction to PEMF and circulation and how that's so important, I want to talk about angiogenesis. Angiogenesis simply means the regeneration of our microvessel system. So our bodies are constantly replacing, for example, our skin and our organs and our heart and our brain. Some get replaced faster than others. I think the capillaries in the eyes regenerate much faster than, say, for example, the heart or the liver. Okay, but over time, our whole body is replaced. And if our whole body is replaced over time, why isn't that replacement just near perfect? Well, because of toxins and chemicals, stress, the natural effect of aging, not the premature aging, but the natural effect of aging, and not getting the right nutrition and water. So there's a lot of influences. Another big one that I like to talk about is EMF, electronic magnetic field, which is the radiation from cell phones and cell towers. All of these things influence how our cells reproduce. So angiogenesis, when our electrical systems are in balance, which is what the device does that I represent, then the angiogenesis process, or the recreation or the creation and the recreation of our microvessel system can work very, very well. So you can see this for yourself, and you can see evidence of the angiogenesis. For example, if you scrape an elbow or a knee and you see that redness to develop, and maybe it's severe enough that ultimately a scab develops or whatever, that's the angiogenesis process. Now there's more to it than just angiogenesis, but you get the idea that our body creates and recreates our microvessel system. But what I found really fascinating about angiogenesis is to learn that it also can, I'll just say, starve the bad things that could be in our cellular system. So all of us actually probably have some level of microcells that would be the precursors of a health disease. Well, our bodies can recognize that, and through the process of angiogenesis, starve those off. Well, if angiogenesis isn't working correctly, it's not going to do that, and so what's going to happen? The emergence of sickness and disease. All right, so now I've talked about PEMF, angiogenesis. In the next video, I'm going to talk about other defenses of the body, because angiogenesis is one of them, and there are at least 4 more identified by a very favorite doctor of mine, Dr. William Li, L.I., who wrote the book, many books actually, but the book that I'm referring to is Eat to Beat Disease. Now his focus is on nutrition, which is great, but I combine nutrition with electrical stimulation in our electrical systems, and the elimination system, which is our detox system, which benefits us all. So you need to understand this, because ultimately, when I start talking more about vitamin supplementation, okay, none of that is really going to be that beneficial or optimally beneficial unless you really combine it with a healthy lifestyle and ideally using the PEMF device that I represent. This device, in my opinion, is no longer optional. We live in a world where toxins and chemicals surround us, are bombarding us, where EMF radiation is bombarding us, where stress is at highest levels ever. And so we need to bring this back into balance with all the tools and resources that we know of today. Does that mean there won't be any further developments? Of course there will. If you look at history, there's always been developments. If you look at the trends in what's being advised by the experts, the trends shift. Some of the nutritional programs that are being recommended today weren't even heard of 2 or 3 years ago. 40, 50 years ago, there were doctors recommending that people smoke cigarettes. Well, that would be unheard of today. Yet, even what we know about what harms us, there's 38 million people that are smokers in the United States today. And I'm not criticizing the smokers. I'm just saying what we know is that this is harmful. If that's your choice, that's your choice. There's many things that we do that are harmful, and we choose to do those anyway. And I can go through the list of foods, many harmful foods. And that's a separate topic. But for now, I want you to go away from this particular presentation with the idea, with the knowing of PEMF and angiogenesis. And in the comment section below, I'm going to put links to a video that explains in greater detail PEMF. It's a non-branded video that I love. I think they do a great job of explaining PEMF. I loved it. I'll put that link in there. And I have an article written on angiogenesis. So I'm going to put that in there as well. So I hope you find this educational, because I'm on a mission as being, I'm relabeling myself as a health and wellness educator, advocate, and coach. And I have developed a level of expertise on these subjects. And it's my responsibility, as I've learned from doctors, from scientists, from other people who are very, very experienced and write credible information, publish credible information based on science. I'm always looking at the science. And when something comes along where the science says that something that I thought was true is not true, I'll tell you. If I say something that I believe is true today and I find out from a comment that it's not true, or I need to correct it, I'll correct it. That's where I'm at. But I'm not going to just go hide and keep this information from you because I'm nervous about being in front of Facebook Live or on a YouTube video or in front of an audience. I'm not. There's too much information to share and for you to be aware of. So I hope you like this. Contact me, stevepollitt@gmail.com, or text me, 727-224-4743. I have a wealth of information on all these topics. I'm delighted to share that with you. Look forward to doing that with you. Look forward to talking with you. Look forward to helping you and giving you guidance on what you're possibly trying to do to have a healthier, happier, more energetic life. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this.